Good morning students. In previous lecture we have learned about liquid drop model. Mainly we use liquid drop model to know the behavior of nucleons. Okay, in that we have made the comparison between nucleus and liquid drop and we have learned many similarities exists between the liquid and nucleus. Today we are going to know about semi-empirical mass formula. Today's concept is semi-empirical mass formula. Today's concept is semi-empirical mass formula. In this, first this semi-empirical mass formula was given by von Weizsäcker. Okay. This formula was given by von Weizsäcker. In 1935. Okay, von Weizsäcker in 1935 developed the semi-empirical mass formula. Mainly, he developed this mass formula to know the quantitatively and more basic understanding of binding energy. Okay, why he has developed this mass formula? In order to know more about the binding energy. Okay, binding energy. So this semi-empirical mass formula was developed by whom? Von Weizsäcker in the year 1935. Why he has developed this semi-empirical mass formula? To know quantitatively and qualitatively about the binding energy of nuclei or nucleus. And he developed a mass formula which has many practical applications. So let us consider step by step in order to derive the mass formula. You all know that a liquid drop has volume energy and surface energy. Okay, we all know that. In the previous lecture we have learned that liquid possesses both surface and volume. So liquid possesses volume energy and surface energy. So by considering the volume energy and surface energy, he has added some more terms to explain well about the binding energy of nucleus. So first let us learn step by step. So first coming to volume energy term. Okay, we are having to explain binding energy. Has considered some terms like volume energy term, and the second one is surface energy term, and third one is Coulombic energy term, Next one is asymmetric energy. Next term is asymmetric energy. And the next one is pairing energy. So by considering all these parameters, he has given the mass formula which gives qualitative and quantitative explanation regarding the binding energies of nuclei. Okay, so let us learn one by one. By considering all the equations, we are going to formulate the semi-empirical mass formula. So let us know about volume energy term. First let us know about volume energy term. So how many parameters are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parameters he has considered to give the semi-empirical mass formula, which tells which explains in detail about the binding energy of nucleus. So the first term is volume energy term. Volume energy term. So in volume energy term, so this liquid possesses volume energy as well as surface energy we have learned. So first coming to volume energy term, it was denoted by V suffix V. Volume energy term is denoted by BV. So you all know that the protons and neutrons are held together by short range attractive force in the nucleus. Okay. So if you consider the nucleus of an atom, you know that nucleus is the central part of atom. Assume this is the nucleus, which consists of protons and neutrons. Now, why these protons and neutrons are present inside the nucleus only? Okay, because a strong short force exists between them. So due to that force, they are residing inside the nucleus only. Otherwise, they will come out of the nucleus along with electrons. So the protons and neutrons are residing inside the nucleus because of short range force. Now these forces reduce the mass because they are tightly bound. So if the particles are tightly bound, it will reduce the mass of the nucleus. And these forces reduce the mass of the nucleus, and it is also proportional to number of nucleons present in it. So here the volume of nucleus, here we are talking about the nucleus, volume of the nucleus. So the volume of nucleus directly proportional to A. Here A represents the number of nucleons. Number of nucleons in the sense what? Number of protons or neutrons. So if more number are there, its volume will be more. If less nucleons are there, so the volume will be less. Okay, so both are directly proportional to each other. So volume directly proportional to number of nucleons in the nucleus. Here nucleons in the sense protons and neutrons. So we can say that means if nucleus are more, okay, if more number of protons are number of protons and neutrons are present in the nucleus is more, then definitely its volume will be more. So we can, from that point we can say that V directly proportional to A. Now here V is nothing but what is volume energy term? We have considered BV. So we can write it as BV directly proportional to A. So here I am going to remove this proportionality. So we are considering BV is equal to AVA. Okay. So here AV is the proportionality constant and it is termed as volume coefficient. Okay. Here AV is the volume coefficient. Volume coefficient. So this is about the volume energy term. Okay, so BV is equal to AVA, represents the volume energy term. Okay, so we are having 5 parameters to explain the semi-empirical mass formula. The first one is volume energy term. In volume energy term, if you consider in nucleus, inside the nucleus the protons and neutrons are tightly bound because of short range force, and this force reduces the mass of the nucleus, and that volume of the nucleus depends upon the number of nucleons present in it. So from that we can write that V directly proportional to A. Here V is nothing but volume energy term. Already we have represented V, volume energy term is represented with BV. So BV directly proportional to A. For the next, I am going to remove this proportionality. So you have to consider a constant, that is AV, and hence we are saying that AV is nothing but volume coefficient of volume energy term. Next, we are going to know about surface energy term. Surface energy term. If you consider lighter nucleus of any atom, the nucleons are present at the surface. Whereas if you consider heavy nucleus, half of the electrons are present at the surface. And from that, we can say that the surface energy term, here the surface energy term is denoted by Bsma. Here B represents binding energy. Our aim is to calculate the binding energy by considering different parameters. So, surface energy term is denoted by Bs. If you consider lighter nucleus of an atom, so the most of the nucleons, that means protons and neutrons, are present at the surface. If you consider heavy nucleus of any atom, so in heavy nucleus of an atom, half of the nucleons, that is protons and neutrons, are present at the surface. Half will reside there. Okay, so the surface energy term is directly proportional to, the surface energy term is directly proportional to surface area of the nucleus. So, surface energy term is directly proportional to surface area of the nucleus. So, as the nucleus is spherical, we can write it as 4 pi r square. Okay, so area of spherical shape, area of any spherical object is given by 4 pi r square. So we can write it as Bs directly proportional to 4 pi r square. So here r is nothing but radius of the nucleus, and it is given by this. R is nothing but radius of the nucleus, and it is given by r is equal to r naught, a power 1 by 2. So we are going to write here, and here we are considering minus Bs. Here minus sign represents that. That means surface energy term reduces the total binding energy. So for that purpose, I have kept the minus for Bs. So replacing R is here. Surface energy term directly proportional to 4 pi r square, that is surface area of sphere of the nucleus. Now here minus represents that surface area depends upon, that means this surface area energy term indicates that surface energy term reduces the binding energy of the nucleus. So for that purpose we have kept the minus, and where here r represents the radius of the nucleus, and it is given by r is equal to r naught a power 1 by 3. Now minus Bs is equal to, what you will get, 4 pi, substitute this term. 4 pi r square, no, so r square is nothing but r naught a power 1 by 3, and minus Bs, overall proportionality constant is nothing but here 4 pi r naught now. Here 4 pi r naught square is there. So r naught square a power 1 by 3 whole power 2 is nothing but you can write it as a power 2 by 3. So this whole term we are considering it as proportionality constant. So minus, I don't like this one. This whole term we are considering it as proportionality constant, like As a power 2 by 3. So this is about the surface energy term, and here As represents the surface coefficient. So here As represents the surface coefficient. Next we are going to know about Coulombic energy term. Next parameter is Coulombic energy term. So this Coulombic energy exists between the charged particle, you all know that. So here Bc, okay, because the main intention is we have to calculate the binding energy by considering different parameters like volume, surface and Coulombic energy term and so on. So here Coulombic energy term is represented with Bc. Here Coulombic energy term represents the repulsion force of protons in the nucleus. So some amount of work done has been against the Coulombic repulsion to assemble the nucleus. So this Coulombic force always represents the repulsion of protons. So in order to bring the protons to reside inside the nucleus, some work done should be done. So that work done is given by W is equal to Bc is equal to, okay, 3 by 5 Z square E square by 4 pi epsilon naught R. Okay, so the Coulombic energy term is given by 3 by 5 Z square E square by 4 pi epsilon naught R. So only when one proton is present inside the nucleus, then what will be the energy? The energy will be given by, that means W is equal to 3 by 5 R square, sorry 3 by 5 E square by 4 pi epsilon naught R. Okay, only one proton is present inside the nucleus, then the work done is given by equation W is equal to 3 by 5 E square by 4 pi epsilon naught R. Now, if there are Z terms are present as Z protons, then this equation can be written as, so one proton is present, then this equation reduces to this. If you assume Z protons are present inside the nucleus, then the work done is given by, okay, Bc Z. For Z protons we are writing. So Z protons is equal to Z of 3 by 5 E square by 4 pi epsilon naught into R. So therefore two Coulombic energy terms are there in the Coulombic energy term. So here one for the one proton. If the nucleus consists of Z protons, then the equation can be represented as this. Now the overall Coulombic energy happened in the nucleus of any atom can be given as. Next, by combining the two terms, one for the binding energy, that means the Coulombic force exists between the protons and neutrons in the nucleus, and the next one is the work done for the Z protons present in the nucleus. So by combining those two terms, we have the total binding energy of Coulombic energy term is given by minus Bc is equal to 3 by 5 E square Z of Z minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught R. Okay, where AC is equal to 3 by 5 E square by 4 pi epsilon naught R. So how can you write by using this? How can you write the above equation? Minus BC is equal to, okay, so 3 by 5 E square by 4 pi epsilon naught value is AC. So AC into Z of Z minus 1. Now this equation represents the Coulombic energy term for the binding energy. So here AC you are observing. Here AC is nothing but Coulombic coefficient. AC is nothing but Coulombic coefficient. Okay, so how can you write here? 4 pi epsilon naught, and you know the value of r also. And here also we have considered r is equal to r naught, okay, a power 1 by 3. So by doing those calculations, so minus bc is equal to ac into z of z minus b by r to the power of, a to the power of 1 by 3. So here ac is nothing but Coulombic coefficient. Next parameter is asymmetric energy. Next parameter is asymmetric energy. Here asymmetric energy is given by BA. Here A represents the asymmetric energy term for binding energy. Now in asymmetric energy, so the number of excess neutrons present in the nucleus is given by n minus z, and neutrons excess per nucleon is given by n minus z by a. Here n minus z represents the number of excess nucleons. The nucleons mainly we are going to consider the neutrons. Whereas here neutrons excess per nucleon is given by n minus z by a. Okay, excess nucleons per nucleon. Next, if you consider the total number of excess neutrons is n minus z, and the total decreasing binding energy is product of the terms like minus Ba is equal to Aa n minus z whole square by A. So in asymmetric energy term, we are going to consider number of excess neutrons. Number of excess neutrons is given by n minus z, and we are going to consider one more parameter, that is total neutrons excess per nucleon. Total neutrons excess per nucleon is given by n minus z by A. Now we are saying that the total number of excess neutrons is n minus z, and it is given by minus dA is equal to Aa n minus z whole square by A. Now here this term can be written as minus Ba is equal to Aa, like that only. Here n can be written as n minus z. Here n minus z represents the number of neutrons. Okay, next minus z whole square by A. Minus Ba is equal to Aa. Here what is there? N minus z can be written as A minus z whole square. Now this can be written as A minus 2z whole square by A. Now in this term Aa represents the asymmetric coefficient of binding energy term. Okay, so this is the final equation which represents the binding energy term of asymmetric energy. Now next one is pairing energy. So pairing in the sense, here we are going to discuss even nuclei, odd nuclei, and even odd nuclei, and so on. So next parameter is pairing energy term. Pairing energy term. This pairing energy term is given by Bp. Okay, pairing energy term of binding energy. So in pairing energy, we are going to consider even nuclei. Generally, any nucleus which consists of Any atom which consists of even nuclei are more stable. More stable. Next, coming to, and they are most abundant and most stable also. Now coming to odd nuclei. Odd nuclei are least stable. Okay, so odd nuclei are least stable. Least stable. Then even odd nuclei. They possess intermediate stability. Okay, even odd nuclei possess intermediate stability. Intermediate stability. So even nuclei have more stability, whereas odd nuclei have least stability, and even odd nucleus or nuclei possess intermediate stability. So the pairing energy term can be written as minus Bp is equal to AP A power minus 3 by 4. Here AP is nothing but pairing coefficient. Okay, here AP is nothing but pairing coefficient. Pairing coefficient. So these are the terms which are helpful in knowing the semi-empirical mass formula. And the nucleus mass equation is given by M of Z comma A is equal to A Mn minus Z of Mn minus Mp minus B. So here this term remains like that only. What is binding energy? Binding energy is the combination of all the 5 terms like volume energy, surface energy, Coulombic energy, okay, asymmetric energy and pairing energy. So all the terms are included in place of B. And finally what you will get M of, okay, here M of Z comma A is equal to A Mn like that only minus Z of Mn minus Mp. Okay, here M and Mp represents mass of the neutron and mass of proton and so on, minus here binding energy. So binding energy, we are going to club all the 5 equations. Okay, that is AB A minus AS A power 2 by 3 minus AC into Z of Z minus 1 by A power 1 by 3. Next minus A naught A minus 2Z whole square by A, or you can write A minus Z whole square also, minus AP A power minus 3 by 4. So this is the equation, okay, which represents the binding energy term, and more simplification means M of Z comma A is equal to A Mn minus Z of Mn minus Mp. Here multiply minus with all these terms, okay, minus into plus, minus only will get AVA. Here minus into minus, plus AS A power 2 by 3. Next plus AC Z of Z minus 1 by A power 1 by 3. Next plus A naught A minus 2Z whole square by A plus AP A power minus 3 by 4. So this equation represents the semi-empirical mass formula. Okay. So this is the overall equation which represents the semi-empirical mass formula, and you have understood that semi-empirical mass formula mainly depends upon 5 binding energy terms. What are they? The first one is volume energy term, second one is surface energy term, third one Coulombic energy term, pairing energy term, and asymmetric energy term. So by combining all these things in terms of B, you are going to get the whole equation. This equation represents the semi-empirical mass formula. Next we are going to know about shell model. Thank you.